All right, welcome everyone, and thanks for hopping on here at 9 p.m. We try to find the best time for everyone to be home and away from other sports and other obligations, but we really appreciate you hopping on. And this is going to be a quick one tonight, just a few reminders and a couple of things to talk about. But we feel it's necessary that we go over a few things, especially as we are down the home stretch here and preparing for the NCAA stuff and some other stuff on the horizon here. So, welcome. It's good to see all of you, and I see a few of you. DJ has a beard longer than me at this point, which I'm surprised, but I'm sure at some point we'll all clean up. But welcome. It's good to see you all.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Again, my name is Tom Honick. Thank you, Alex and Chris, for having me on the call. It is the start of the 2024 season. This is very exciting. Every season is an opportunity to start fresh. It's an opportunity to work with umpires you've never worked with before. It's an opportunity to challenge yourself to perform at higher levels. It's also an opportunity to reflect on the different training opportunities from the summer and the fall that you may have attended, and execute some of those, some of the learning that you had in the coming season. So, one of the things I really like about 24 is just the opportunity to share with your fellow umpires, whether it's before or after a game or a weekend series, building that camaraderie and immersing yourself in the umpiring culture. So. I always look forward to the beginning of a season, to seeing people I haven't seen for a while. And I think the things that Alex and Chris and I will talk about tonight will hopefully help prepare everyone for a successful 2024.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to 2024. We're really excited to get going here. For those of you who may not know, Tom is the new I guess it's Coastal Athletic Association coordinator, and working with Mid-Atlantic, Chris and I have always really enjoyed our relationship in terms of umpire education and assigning and all of the different things that we're able to do as a group that maybe we wouldn't be able to do as well individually. So we're excited to continue those relationships and continue putting out a great product. Just some things that kind of came to my mind as I was putting this together. We're going to do a brief version here tonight, but I think I would be remiss if I didn't mention a couple of these things. So just if anyone sent emails to Chris and I here near year end, when schedules came out or in the last week, we're still catching up. So please, if you sent something on January 1st or 2nd and haven't gotten a response yet, please understand we're just catching up. I was at ABCA last week, so we're just we're a little bit behind on emails, so we will get back to you. Assigning continues, especially for on the United side and in Region 20 on the MAC side, as we start to get revisions from teams and things like that. So just understand, please get your availability as correct as possible, and if you do have to give stuff back for whatever reason, don't sit on it. If it's got to come back, it's got to come back. Just get it out of the way so we can, reassign it to the rest of the world here. So fees will be updated shortly on the United side. I know we've also got some work to do on the CAA side with Zebra and Arbiter. So please be patient on that. We will certainly reach out to all of you and email you when we feel the fees are correct, give you an opportunity to check things like travel and things of that nature. We obviously all know there are those of you that want more than you have assigned. We're really lucky to have a great staff of umpires, and we try to put the best officials that we can on the games when we can. And we will do the best to get many of you on the schedule who are not there already. So just understand, we're doing the best we can to get as many umpires on there, but certainly we have that obligation to our community and to our bosses to put the best officials out there. And then just two more housekeeping notes before we kind of start on the rest of this. We are going to be doing an overhaul of unitedumpires.org here shortly. So if there's something on there in particular that you would like to get your hands on, and download or copy or take a picture of it, might be a good idea to do that in the next week or so. And just as we might put it under construction. So those are the things that kind of came to my mind there. As we roll into the kind of meat and potatoes of this tonight, I guess first here, I just wanted to talk a little bit about uniforms, more from the perspective of where we're getting uniforms and things like that than actually requirements. As you can see kind of at the top there, we have no requirement changes really across the board, MAC, UCU, individual conferences. So those changes, there are no changes there. We do still have kind of 3 different points to get uniforms from, kind of outlined what each store can provide for you. The things in red are certainly some things that maybe the things that are highlighted in red are only available at that particular outfitter. So what we were trying to do with our uniforms is create a situation where people have a lot of options to get things. East Coast, West Coast, obviously with all the stuff we've been doing on the travel side, we needed to expand some of our operations here from a uniform standpoint. So take a picture of that slide if you want. Those are kind of the available places to get things at this point. And obviously with no requirement changes, a lot of you won't need to get too much stuff, but if you do, kind of get out there, get what you need to get, and we'll go from there.
All right, the fun stuff. One quick thing on uniforms, and one thing that I noticed this morning, Ivy League hats was brought to my attention that there's a couple suppliers across the country that are selling Ivy League conference hats. Those are for softball. Now, the Ivy League has gone through a new logo change within the last year. In baseball, we have not updated that yet. We will eventually, but I have every assurance it's not going to happen this year. So for now, we're going to, order your Ivy League hats through Keith at Stripes and Strikes and continue with that. And eventually, and I believe the America East is going through a logo change as well. So, this may happen in other conferences, but for now, for the Division I conference hats, just go through Keith at Stripes and Strikes, and until we let you guys know about a change in the future. All right, so requirements. You'll see highlighted here the 2 deadline dates. It's been communicated that the NCAA deadline is the 26th. In all actuality, we want the deadline to be the 24th, and for a few reasons here. Every year we either forget what time of the day the period ends. Inevitably, there's computer issues. I lost power here today with wind. Gosh, if I was doing the test and I waited to the last minute and the power went out once it's 5 p.m., there's nothing we can do. So we should be striving to get and meet these requirements by January 24th, just to allow some time if something does happen. Our requirements haven't changed. We register for RefQuest Plus, the NCAA, and United Portal. And for those of you, and we come across this every year, that either didn't see the registration for United Portal or missed it or whatever the problem may be, we can fix that. So for now, if you're registering or have not, make sure you sign up for both of those, the NCAA and United. Okay. Next thing is obviously take the rules test, pass with an 85. We have 2 attempts, but you can log in an unlimited amount of time. Before that, it's my recommendation, I think Tom and Alex would agree, that before you even get to the test, we should view the clinic. And you'll find over the years, and I think we've mentioned this in the past, that between the online clinic or the in-person, the videos that are put out by the NCAA, the preseason guide, you'll find a number of those questions right in those 2 resources in addition to the rule book. So watch the clinic, and for the clinic and the test, please take a screenshot, print the certification, whatever it may be. Now, the 3 of us at some point will receive some information from the NCAA, a spreadsheet with all the names of everyone who's fulfilled these obligations. We can certainly go back through and prove once you guys, send us the certifications, or we send out that, inevitable email saying that your name's on the naughty list, if you will. We can do some research and find it, but believe me, if your name's not on that list, you get that email, but you have that certification printed out and you can send it to us. It just makes this process go a whole lot smoother for us and for you as well. Once again, we got to consent to the background check. And one last thing I do want to mention, and I think I put this in the email, about a month ago. We're going to see more and more independent contractor agreements that conferences are going to require of umpires. I do know that the American East will do it again, and the Ivy League will do one as well. So just to be, on the alert here, those will be coming out. Once we receive those agreements, we'll distribute those, but make sure you sign them, check all the boxes and send them back. So more and more, I think those things are going to happen. Any questions on this? Any help you may need with these requirements? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We've talked about these in the past. We're going to do our best to remind you, but at this point, we're into January. We really got to do a good job of just following through and make sure that we fulfill all these things.
Couple things that have come up in the chat. First off, when registering, it asks you to select conferences. You can really select anything within the United or MAC affiliation. You do not have to be 100% accurate on Division III conferences. We would ask, if you are a part of a Division I conference and register as a Division I official, please make sure that you're checking off the appropriate conferences that you are a part of, because when Chris and Tom go to do recommendations and things for the conferences, there will have to be a workaround if those aren't checked off properly. So at the Division III JUCO level, just check off a Division III conference in the footprint that belongs to MAC and or United. Division I would ask you to be a bit more specific. We did have one question also about hats. At the Division I level, in conference, we wear conference hats. In the CAA, we wear conference hats for non-conference as well. In the 4 United assigned conferences, NEC, America East, Ivy, and MAC, we wear a United hat during the week in non-conference. So I hope that answers those. And I'll add one more thing in terms of saving these certificates. We ask you to save them. Please don't send them to us. You can only imagine what it would look like if 300 people sent us every certificate for passing the test and passing the certification. So just hang on to those. If we do find a problem and we need them, we'll certainly request them from you, but you do not have to send those to us. And we would ask that you please just hang on to them yourself. Tommy?
All right, so we have a couple preseason camps in the MAC United world that we're going to be running. These are similar to the ones we've run in previous years. I can tell you that from my experience, I have always found time to see a significant amount of pitches. I know those first games, there's always a little bit of uncomfort in the first few innings. The speed of the game is different. You forget a lot of that. You've had a couple months off in cold weather and warmer weather, maybe not as many, but these camps serve as an opportunity to get a refresher on changes that are happening, mechanics changes that have occurred. And they're also just a great opportunity for a mixture of collegiate and professional umpires who are instructing to be able to work with you individually and get you prepared for the season. So with that, there's the 2 camps, one preseason in Charleston. It's February 1st through the 4th. It's going to follow a similar classroom, games, laser strike zone technology that we have in most of the MAC United camps, and then also in the North Carolina area. And we'll split those up against with spending some time at the Division I institutions that are in those regions. So again, if you are able to make those, please register for them in the coming days. If you're not, find time to make sure you're seeing high quality pitching before your first games. and doing the things that we've talked about in this call, and preparing yourself to have a seamless transition to your opening day.
And we will, as United and MAC, as opportunities come up for cage work and things like that. I think last year Chris was able to send a ton of those out via RQ Plus, via Arbiter. So we will, try to continue doing that, and make sure that you all are aware of all the opportunities that are out there. If you can't get to a camp, just, doing cage work, things of that nature. So moving forward, just so everyone kind of has an idea of what the schedule is going to look like here, we wanted to do this brief meeting to make sure that everyone was on board with what the NCAA requirements are. We don't want anyone to miss those ever. But we will have one more kind of large MAC UCU meeting. I would say might be the first week of February, might be the first full week of February. It'll be sometime, in that 10-day period there. And then Chris and Tom will both hold conference specific meetings probably in about that same time frame. So, and that will be by conference, obviously 5 meetings there: NEC, MAC, Ivy, America East, and CAA. So be on the lookout for those. Those of you who will need to attend those will be, contacted by Tom and Chris. So that is kind of our welcome to 2024. Before we go tonight, I have one announcement to make to the larger group. For 9 years, Dan Miller has been with us as our social media, digital media, video director, and starting with 2024, we are kind of going to go different directions. Dan has been really with us from the beginning. Kind of sat at tables with Danny when Collegiate Officials Group was starting, when United was starting. The organization would not be where it is today without him. We are going to miss him. We wish him all the best. And but again, wanted to, in front of the whole group, just let you guys know that that was the case. Obviously, anything that you used to send to him in terms of video, things like that, we will talk about in early February, and provide some additional places for you guys to send those type of things. But certainly wanted to thank Danny for everything that he's done, and just let everyone know that this organization certainly would not be where it is today without him. Thank you for letting me make that announcement. I appreciate everybody joining to hear that and all the other things. Chris, I'll let you close out here.
Yeah, I think Tom mentioned earlier, this is really a beginning, and I think we may have put that in an email or two, even as long ago as a month and a half. But really, once we turn the other side of the holidays, it's really full steam ahead. There's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of things and obligations that we have to follow through where, as we lead up to the start of the season. But, as mentioned before, it's right around the corner. And, you can't hide out there if you haven't put the time and the effort in, if you haven't prepared, if you haven't seen pitches, if you haven't, tried to make it to a camp and clinic. And believe me, the three of us all understand it's difficult to at times make commitments to a camp or a clinic when we're asking all of you to take a lot of time out away from friends and family and work for the season. But please do something. And it all starts with the requirements and really the hard work that'll be put in prior to the start of the season. And, the reality is that we're the coaches ourselves, and the student athletes, they will see the ones that put the time and effort in. And, we're proud of all of you and the staff we've all put together here. And we know you guys are committed, and we appreciate all your efforts. But welcome to 2024. And we look forward to going down this journey with all of you and what lies ahead of us in the upcoming season. So thanks, everyone, and appreciate your time tonight. And anything you need to speak with us offline or any other questions, the three of us are always available to answer any questions you may have. So for me, I mean, thanks again to everyone.
Tom, you want to close it out?
Yeah, great, great final remarks, Chris. I don't need to echo all of them. They were just what we needed. There's a couple more, or one or two more questions in chat, but as you go through 2024, use it as an opportunity. Develop yourself, but also develop the people around you. And as you do that, the competition will continue to raise, and your development will be pretty clear. So that's something I believe strongly in, is supporting the people around you as on your path. And I'm on that path with you. So I hope to work with many of you in the coming weeks, months, and years. And if there's anything I can do, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Good night.
Good night, everyone.